Chapter 1.1.2.1 Kubernetes Object Management. The kubectl command line tool offers various methods for creating and managing Kubernetes objects. This document provides a summary of these methods, while the kubectl book offers detailed instructions on managing objects using kubectl. Management techniques. It is important to manage a Kubernetes object using only one technique to avoid undefined behavior. Mixing techniques can cause issues. Imperative commands. Imperative commands allow users to directly manipulate live objects in a cluster by providing operations to the kubectl command. This approach is ideal for starting or running one-off tasks in a cluster. However, since this technique operates directly on live objects, it does not offer a history of previous configurations. Advantages of imperative commands include the ability to express commands as single actions and complete changes in a single step. However, disadvantages include the lack of integration with change review processes, audit trails, records, and templates for creating new objects. Imperative object configuration. Imperative object configuration in Kubernetes involves using the kubectl command to specify operations like create or replace, along with optional flags and file names containing object definitions in YAML or JSON format. The imperative replace command replaces the existing object with the new configuration, potentially deleting any changes not present in the file. This method is not recommended for objects whose specs are updated independently from the configuration file, such as load balancer services. Advantages of imperative object configuration include the ability to store configurations in source control and integrate with review processes. Disadvantages include the need for a basic understanding of object schema and the additional step of writing YAML files. Compared to declarative object configuration, imperative is simpler and more mature, but it works best on files and requires updates to live objects to be reflected in configuration files to avoid data loss. Declarative object configuration. Declarative object configuration allows users to work on object configuration files stored locally without defining specific operations. The kubectl tool automatically detects create, update, and delete operations for each object, making it easier to work on directories where different operations may be needed for various objects. Changes made by other writers are retained through the use of the patch API operation, which only writes observed differences instead of replacing the entire object configuration. Advantages of declarative object configuration include better support for directories and retaining changes made directly to live objects. However, disadvantages include difficulties in debugging and understanding unexpected results, as well as complex merge and patch operations when using partial updates with diffs.